The entire team at the Emsolation podcast acknowledges the traditional custodians and cultures of the lands and seas on which we live and work. We pay our respects to all First Nations peoples, elders and ancestors. We acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded and stand in solidarity towards a shared future. I personally want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I record this podcast every week, the Wurundjeri people. I recognise their continued connection to the land and waters of this beautiful place I call home. Always was, always will be.
Emrusiano.
And I think maybe because I wanted to make it professional, my brain was like, aha, okay, bitch, and went completely the other way.
And Michael Lucas.
Oh, likewise with you. Can't wait. And just remember, if it's too fatty, just heat it up.
This is Emsolation.
I was working for Baz Luhrmann.
Oh, just pick that name up.
Oh, no, but I was.
You're in Emsolation.
Hello there and welcome to Emsolation. My name is Emrusiano. I'm a writer, a singer, a stand-up comedian, a maximalist power queen, a neurodiverse magic brain, a pottery expert. And together with my best friend, Australian screenwriter. I say Australian screenwriter because remember, if you Google Michael Lucas, there's a porn star with the same name. So it's important that you differentiate between the two. But then when you see them, I mean, they don't look anything alike, but still important. And podcaster, Mr. Michael Lucas, since, I said the pottery thing and then I got sidetracked and now my brain's thinking about the porn star and how I could possibly make a pottery, like I could make a statue of the porn star as a joke. And because in this episode we talk a lot about exploding penises in a kiln. It's a few side quests today because I ran away from home. You'll find out where I went. I spent 6 hours elsewhere. I probably gave it away with the exploding penises in a kiln, but I digress. How are you? If this is your first time listening to the podcast, you can expect plenty more of that sheer fucking chaos. There's a lot going on in the world. In our world especially, in mine and Michael's area of interest, there's so much happening in Australian politics, the Oscars, the Grammys, just Lady Gaga in general. It's our poor little heads and content-obsessed brains are taking in quite a bit. So you will be taken on the usual roller coaster that will start with exploding penises and end on Michael singing a Barbra Streisand medley with a little bit of ScoMo in between. So it feels right. # on brand. I've had a few little rants and hissy fits on Instagram this week. It's just, I don't know, there's something in the air. Maybe it's the change of seasons. Maybe I'm fed up with everyone's shit. Could be a heady mix of both. But I keep seeing online women only doing this, just kind of celebrating and laughing about the fact how as mums we do everything and mum will do it and la la la, and kind of trying to normalise and glamorize how everything ends up falling on the shoulders of mum. And I'm talking about in a stereotypical heteronormative family. I know it's different for everyone else, and I do try not to do this, but I'm specifically talking about, I think if I can narrow it down as far as I dare, women married to straight men. Well, if you're a woman married to a gay man, more power to you. It's probably not happening in your house. Yeah, women married to men. Let's narrow it down to that. Who have children. Even more narrow. Mum will do it. You know, don't worry, we'll sort it. Christmas, birthdays. And there's a bit of a market now pointing this out and just bonding over it. And I don't want that to happen. Please stop. And if you see an influencer, a mum influencer specifically doing this, call her out on it. Call her in on it. Call her in on it. Don't write mean things in the comments because that's a waffle. DM her. I always try to call in before I call out. Very important distinction there, sorry. But don't allow this to infiltrate your skull. Stop normalising and glamorising mothers being exhausted and doing everything as though that's just the status quo and the norm and just how things are. Because what happens is you have all these middle-aged women just furious and exhausted and feeling taken advantage of and feeling too far in and too deep in to change anything. And you know I've spoken about this before. They turn to alcohol and to shopping and to other coping mechanisms, or they get depressed, or it's all three. And resentment grows and builds, and it's fucking awful. And I know a lot of you feel that way because I get messages on the reg from you and I'm exhausted, but I don't know how to speak up for myself because it's been going on for so long. So that was my big thing this week. I saw 3 women that I followed making jokes about how mums do it all. And I was like, fuck that. Fuck it. You don't have to do it all. And do you know what else? Stop doing it all. Do you know what? Just stop. You're going to hear I did, especially yesterday. I got up and I left the house. I had to. I just stopped. And guess what? Everything was okay. Not to a very high standard. It didn't get done as well as I would do it. But you know what? Life kept going. So if you are now tearing up because you're listening to me talk about exhausted mothers, then that is your cue. Your body is telling you, your brain, your emotions, everything is screaming at you, stop. Reset. New rules, new boundaries with the family. Everyone is to do their fair share. I'm giving you permission. You have my permission. If you need strength, if you need me to tell you what's all right, send me a DM on Instagram. You know I lurk in there every now and then because I just really want to punish myself. This is your sign, the sign you've been waiting for. Oh, good. I'm glad I got that out of my system. I hope I haven't made anyone feel excluded by specifically going down into, women in heteronormative relationships with kids. Obviously, a lot of my audience is not in that demographic, but you all get it. You see it and understand. Just don't want anyone to feel bad. Oh, God. Live show is happening Tuesday night. Very excited. Malthouse Theatre is now completely sold out, teeming with Emsolators. Please bring your masks. I know it's not mandatory, or maybe it is. I hope it is. My entire team will be wearing masks. Bring your hand sanitizer. Just play it safe. Rona's still out there and I want everyone to be safe and have a good time. So I know you all will, 100% completely. But I just wanted to remind you all, I really want everyone and encouraging everyone to wear a mask and wash their hands and just keep safe because I want my team to be safe. I want you to be safe. Very important. I want to also remind you that the live show will not be being turned into a podcast. So it's not happening. You must be there to watch it. And we're going to leave the show up for a week after if you can't be there Tuesday night. I know a few people are actually there on Tuesday night and they also want to be able to watch it back, which is kind of cute. And I never thought about that. It's very committed of you. Your last chance to get yourself a spot, reserve your spot, $5. That's all it's going to cost you and you're in for a great night. You get to see your favourite people on stage doing what they love. Who knows what Michael's going to – you'll hear Michael tries to ban me from inviting someone because he's afraid of the sea guzzling situation. I don't know why I'm being coy about the word now, but, if you were there at our Christmas special, you know to which I refer. But I'm inviting this person and he's banning me from inviting. You'll hear. That's all I have for you. Odette is much better. She's over the Rona, testing negative. But to be honest, she was quite happy to be in her room for the week. She didn't ask to come out once. But when her father had to be quarantined for a week, on day 3, he was like, can I come out now? But I wouldn't let him. And he didn't even have coronavirus in the end. All right, that's enough from me. I'm going to bring Michael in now. See you all. I'll be looking at you, some of you on Tuesday night. Hopefully most of you listening now will also be watching from wherever you are in the world. It's very exciting. All right, play the music.
Em Rusciano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsolation.
Michael Lucas, fresh from his stint on the Gold Coast. How are you feeling? Are you like ready to move up there as most people do?
To be honest, I did look at property.
What is it about our generation that goes somewhere for 1 minute and think, I could move here? Anytime I go away, anytime I go to somewhere new that doesn't bring me misery or exhaustion, I look around within 10 minutes, not having done any research, and go, yeah.
It was so sunny on the last day. It was just beautiful. I swam in the ocean. It was so nice. And I was wandering around going, there's no real reason to leave. Isn't it cheaper? Isn't it so much cheaper? Then I looked. Let me tell you, no. It's not that. I mean, it is perhaps cheaper as a general rule than Melbourne, but no. I was just thinking, surely a hop, skip and jump from the beach? How expensive could that be? Answer, quite expensive.
Now, congratulations.
Thank you.
More awards. I mean, it must be getting boring now. Were you sitting there going, yes. What did you win exactly? And I, first of all, love the shirt. You were dressed in the koi shirt.
No, well, that's it. I didn't fully take in that there was, I swear to you, I didn't take in that there was going to be a full awards night. And some people were there in black tie. And the koi fish shirt was all that I had. So I just thought I've got to own it, claim it, make it a choice.
I liked it. It
Thank
was
you.
a choice because
Thank
I
you.
saw some people in suits.
There were a lot of
And
people
you
in
and I
suits.
hadn't had a pre-discussion about an outfit, which we normally do if there's a formal event.
Oh, Logie's is coming up in less than 2 months. So we'll be discussing that from now on, basically.
100%. Which, of course, I won't be invited to, even though I was on a television show last year and got second and was been on television for the last 15 years. I will not be invited to the Logies. But that influencer you love who talks about the products she uses on her face, she'll be there. It's fine. I'm not.
Who on earth could you mean?
I'm not bitter. So you were in a koi shirt. What did you win?
Best drama. It was the Screen Producers Association's awards. So
Gosh,
yeah,
sounds
well,
very
like
niche.
there's directors, there's writers, they all have their different awards, and this was the producers.
I'm sorry. Okay. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's impressive, but it's not what you'll lead with when people ask you what awards you've won.
Not
Like
necessarily.
our award at the Podcast Awards probably sits above that.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. But in fact, the real win was not so much that.
I know.
The real win was that whole conference, especially the awards night, is going to go down as one of the most brutal super spreader events.
Crazy.
So I posted a picture of me clustered with people holding an award. I use the word cluster appropriately. Half the people in that picture have gone down with the
God.
Rona. It has just been a demolition derby, and somehow Adrian and me touch wood again.
Touch wood,
again,
we're touching all the
again.
wood. I lived with a person with COVID last
Me
week.
too.
And-
I've been coughed on
Yes.
repeatedly all night by someone with COVID. I
Yes.
don't know what's happening. Have I had like some subclinical dose?
Maybe.
I don't know.
You know, my theory is because you and I have both had glandular fever, that our body is very super immune to that kind of thing. That's my unsubstantiated, unscientific, unmedical opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
And I did a thing on Saturday night, and half the people there have gone down with it as well.
It was extreme going back. The only COVID mitigation strategy they had was they did check whether you're
please.
vaccinated. But then other than that, we were in the Star Casino and we were squashed into these bars, and a lot of the places were like, there's a drinks tab for an hour. So needless to say, everyone like crushed. And then there's like waiters coming through with little like trays of finger food, like Rona on a tray.
Yeah.
And you were so close to everyone, and it was so noisy that you had to scream to be heard. And so bits of spit were going on face. I could smell breath for the first time. And all of us were saying, this feels like the kind of place where you get Rona.
Oh,
and
no.
indeed it
No.
was. We are still in a pandemic, as it turns out.
No one seems to, like 19,000 cases in Sydney today, 12,000 in Melbourne, but they're saying it's actually double that because people are forgetting to report.
Yeah. And a lot of people on their second round as well. A
Yeah.
lot of people that had it at the end of last year or just the start of this year already getting another go.
It's just like everyone's just given up. The schools send out the exposure notice every day. And honestly, I don't know why they bother. It just needs to be everyone. They're writing prep, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, 6, all the way to 12. And I just want to write back to the secretary, mate, just a capital headline. Everyone's got it. They're making the kids wear masks again, thank God. Because Odie's gone back finally today. She's exhausted. She's so tired, poor darling. So, look, it's still happening, everyone. Just be
I
careful.
actually have to say, when we got back to Melbourne, Queenslanders, they're not into the mask. We got back to Melbourne, back in the airport. It felt good with the
yeah.
mask on.
I'm wearing
I just
masks
felt like,
everywhere.
oh, thank God. Also, I no longer have to arrange my mouth to be in any way sort of like I can basically be dead-faced.
Yeah. I'm going to the Grand Prix this weekend with my dad. But it's okay.
Outdoorsy.
And we're in the very spread out hospitality, whooshy VIP area because I got on Instagram and I've never used my Instagram in this fashion. And now I'm going to. This is a precedent. And I said, hello, I never do this with this account, but desperate times. I've tagged the Australian Grand Prix. Hi, I'm Emsolators. On behalf of myself and my very tiny Italian father, Vinci, I would really like to come to the Australian Grand Prix. I've tried to buy tickets, they're gone. My invitation, maybe it got lost, but I'm a huge F1 fan, as is my dad. And he never asks me for anything. And he has said, hey, do you think we could go to the Grand Prix? I drove in the Celebrity Grand Prix, like you know me. I've driven the track. I just want to be there in the paddock. I want to go into fancy tents. I want to high-five Gunter. I want to perv on Toto. I want to see Dan's teeth. I will whore your event. I will tag. I will be an F1 influencer for the day. Please. like, and I never do this, I'm going to assume if people don't invite me, they don't want me there. But I think maybe you just got confused. Maybe my invite just got lost. My dad and I just want to be there. Just like, I'll do whatever you want on this account. I've got quite a few followers. Thanks. Lo and behold, the next day, the head of it, his wife is a big fan of mine. He's in charge of all the people who get invited and he runs the whole thing. He's like, my wife will divorce me if I don't give you the best tickets possible. And they're going to take us on the grid so we can see the cars.
Wow.
I'm going to meet Toto Wolff.
Hi, my name is Toto Wolff.
I'm going to see
I don't know
Daniel
who that
Ricciardo.
is.
You know Daniel
I
Ricciardo.
know that one. Yep.
Yeah. Like
he flirted with Kylie on the project once.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let me impress you. Jerry Halliwell's going to be there. Insert gay gasp and clutch off pearls.
Hi, gay.
Oh, my God.
I know. She's married.
She actually wrote a song called Scream If You Want to Go Faster, one of her best solo singles.
Thank you. Married to Christian Horner, who is the team
Don't know
principal
that.
of Red Bull.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're a very cute couple. I love them. They're a power couple. She wears a lot of white denim when she goes to the Grand Prix.
Of course
so
she does.
I have to find myself, because when you dress for the Grand Prix, it's got to be like, hey, I'm a blue blood person who goes to, like, Richie, who goes to, what's the place? Monaco, and I have tax offsets in Sweden. Like, you got to dress like, got to give those vibes.
I've
So
always felt like you do have a lot of ginger spice in you. And now, physically, in
I am
fact, you've
ginger.
gone a bit ginger.
Yeah.
Only, dare I say it, and I don't want to impugn her in any way, but much better pipes.
Oh, I think Jerry would cop to the fact that Mel C. Sporty Spice sung most of the tracks on their songs. But yesterday, I want to let you know that you have been on the Gold Coast. I have fully immersed myself in the world of pottery. Totally and utterly.
Wow.
So yesterday, I ran away and I've made friends with the lady who owns the pottery studio, Gabby. We've become friends. And I said, are you going to be in the studio on Tuesday? I just want to finish off some things. And I was like, she's like, yeah, come in. You can spend the day here. And I was like,
Oh, my God.
I spent the day at pottery yesterday. I finished your ashtray. I've now decided to start a line of pottery for angry women.
Wow.
And on my 2 plates yesterday, I wrote midlife crisis pottery. That's on
Yep,
one of them.
yep.
The other one is perimenopausal pottery. I am doing this class because I am angry. And that's all my crockery that I'm making has these proclamations on it. Your ashtray says this is a shit ashtray.
I hope you're just like the midlife crisis one. Oh, no, the menopause one has got to be like no kiln necessary, just a burning hot flush. Crusted this one together.
I put this between my thighs.
Wow.
So she says, this is the whole niche for you. I said, yes, it is. Because so many women, like even Kate Blanchett took up pottery. I listened to her on a podcast and she said,
I tried the pottery thing and it was a bit,
Really?
and there's a reason, because we get to 40 and we're fucking
Angry.
exhausted and angry and don't know why. So we put it into ceramics.
Yeah.
So I am literally, like, my sweat from my perimenopausal hot flushes is infused in this plate.
Yeah.
It will then be fired in.
Yep.
Every plate sold comes with perimenopausal sweat.
Oh,
I mean, can you put a dollar figure on that?
no. You can't mould your own body to your will. You can't mould the world around you to the will, but God damn it if a bit of clay won't do exactly what you want.
And then I also, while I was going through a studio, she has a lot of kids in, and I'm going to start a side account, accidental dicks, because every single, she had a child a class, and the theme was rockets, and they made rockets out of clay, and
Well,
they
that's
all got
asking
cock and
for
balls.
trouble.
Like, I said to her, can we do eggplants next week? So I'm collating photos of accidental crockery because cockery. Yes! Because I think that's a whole thing as well. But anyway, what I'm saying is I've totally infiltrated the pottery studio, and I've also convinced her to start doing classes called Pottery for Angry Women. And like just a whole group class, there's wine, there's clay, there's paint, and everyone just gets together and just works it out.
I think in that one there might even be intentional penises.
Yeah, and when we build them, we won't be making them hollow so they explode in the kiln. Because now
A
I
group
know
of angry women look at 14 different phallic symbols and bake them until they absolutely...
Because if you were to make a cock that would survive the kiln, you would have to make it out of pinch pot so it's hollow. But if you wanted a cock to explode in a kiln, you wouldn't. You would not put nary a hole in that penis. And it'll
Look at
go,
the science of pottery here.
I'm really good. I know everything about it now.
Are you still scared of the wheel?
Yeah, no, I won't go near the wheel. I don't like
Okay.
the touch of the slippery wet clay. I
Okay,
don't like
yep,
it.
yep.
I actually don't even like touching clay, but I do. I do like the pottery. So look out for that, because I'm deadly serious. We're going to start doing pottery classes.
And there's a painting phase. To
yeah,
that,
that's called the underglaze.
Okay.
So you make your clay, it gets bisqued.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a firing, comes back. You do an underglaze, you can paint whatever you want on it.
Okay.
Or you can do the dipping, where like that's a bit like uncertain. I like the underglaze. Paint what you want. Then it goes back and it gets fired again. Another bisque, and then you put on a clear lacquer layer so it's shiny, and then it has the final firing, and then it's like food proof. I wouldn't be using any of my stuff though. A lot of my plates also have for display purposes only written on them.
For what purposes only?
Display.
Display purposes.
Please don't use this plate for its intended purpose. All right, moving on. Scott Morrison. Okay, let's talk about Scott Morrison with Lee Sales first. He was on the 7:30 report.
It's just called 7:30 these days.
Was it called 7:30 report at some
It
point?
was once when we were children.
Oh, right.
Back in the, I think Kerry O'Brien saw the changeover.
Kerry. Oh, Kerry.
Welcome to the program.
He was on finally. Has he put it off a couple of times? Because Lee
He
came
had.
out fucking at 10.
Let me put it to you that with the record of performance during COVID, which, as you point out, is better than around the world, and the economy doing relatively well, that there can only be one factor that's playing into the negative sentiment towards the coalition, and that, without sounding rude, has to be you.
It was
Oh, what a singer.
brutal. I know. And it's weird because obviously, as listeners will know, there's no love loss between me and ScoMo. I mean, he's really feeling it from my end, of course. But
Oh, no, he's
just-
quaking.
yeah. But I have to say, it's still excruciating to see someone, even though the smirk there wasn't even a flicker that broke the smirk. He was ready. He knew what was happening. But basically...
He has an unshakable
Imagine
smirk.
if someone sat me down and said, the problem with everything you're trying to achieve is just purely you.
you
Also, everyone that hates you, even the people who are supposed to support you, let me read the complete list of everyone that hates you.
No,
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah, totally.
Imagine the spiralling.
Oh,
Imagine.
you would not want to see me at 3 a.m. that morning.
But he has the unshakable smirk.
Oh.
Like, I wonder what's going on internally. But truly, he has the audacity of a straight white man who really, and also add religion in there, that unshakable faith. I don't think does he roll over to Jenny at midnight and hold her hand and have to grab it because he feels unsure of himself? And does he say, am I mean? Am I a bully?
Maybe the skin is just so thick now. It's maybe been... I mean, there was that time, I do remember when Peter Van Onselen confronted him about the Gladys texts.
She describes you as, quote, a horrible, horrible person, going on to say she did not trust you and you're more concerned with politics than people. The minister is even more scathing, describing you as a fraud and, quote, a complete psycho.
And it was all...
Which have been confirmed, by the way, today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Well, yes, because Lee brought that up and he said she denied that, which she did not do. She said she couldn't recall it.
And now pictures of her actual writing on the phone have been sent and released and leaked and shown. So she said it.
It's just not a good time for
I
Scott
know.
Morrison.
So look, the election's going to get announced this week. He has to. It's going to happen. He was waiting for the
I feel
weekend.
like we've been in the campaign for 3 years already, but yes.
So he's got to go visit the Governor General, go do the GG visit and officially request, and it'll happen. But I don't understand. It feels like everyone within his own party, they're just turning on him. They're turning on the person who has to front them at the upcoming federal election. What's the gameplay? And I asked friend of the podcast and political commentator and expert Jamila Rizvi, I just flat out said to her, why? And she said, I honestly think it's like when the Labor Party turned on Kevin Rudd.
Right.
They were ahead in the polls, in the two-party preferred polls. They were looking like they were going to win. They didn't care because everyone hated him so much that for once the politics didn't matter. The human side of them came out. And she said she thinks that ScoMo's just so unpopular amongst his own party that they don't even care about
It does feel a bit like kamikaze because
wild.
The one thing that you've always got to remember as we come to elections is that for a lot of these people, everyone running, their jobs are on the line. They're in these cushy parliamentary jobs.
Yeah.
And that's why people desperately change leaders so much at the end. And that's why they toe the party line and they do everything they can because everyone wants to hold on to their jobs. So to attack Scott Morrison like this...
They're wild.
And where it's long
They're 40-year-old
past...
women going to pottery classes. Like, I swear to God, if I showed up with a wheel at Parliament, there'd be some plates.
Ooh, there would be.
Wouldn't there?
There would be.
Imagine the messages written. Imagine if Jackie Lambie I'd love Jackie Lambie to do a line for me.
I don't think so. Not on my watch.
You'd really need to put for display purposes only on all of that. No one should eat anything off those plates.
But, I mean, again, the list of people, as Lee said, all seem to be women, by the way. Jackie Lambie, Pauline Hanson, Julia Banks, Gladys, Conchetta, who I want to talk about in a sec, and now outgoing New South Wales Liberal Catherine Cusack has come forward and accused him of being a self-serving, ruthless bully Now, if Catherine's name rings a bell, she resigned 2 weeks ago out of disgust for her government's inaction for flood victims.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said, I wouldn't vote for my own party this election. And she said that ScoMo has ruined the Liberal Party. Like, that's damning.
Yeah, not ideal.
She has quit Parliament. She's quit her job, her cushy job, because she's so disgusted in the person leading the place she works for. Like, that's wild.
I saw Marie Carty on Twitter say something like, this whole period, it feels like it's like an advent calendar where every week we open a new thing and another female MP pops out and goes, he's a nightmare, he's a villain.
It's so true. I really didn't pay attention to Conchetta's speech, and you sent it to me, but I couldn't take it in. But I did take it in because there's been a lot of more articles around the bullying, and I really wanted to understand what's going on behind the scenes. And Liberal Senator Conchetta Fioravanti-Wells, what a name, but they all call her Connie. She got up in Parliament and gave a fiery speech pasting ScoMo. Like, she eviscerated him.
In my public life, I have met ruthless people. Morrison tops the list.
She left nothing. It was kind of electrifying to see someone make the decision, okay, I'm just going to say everything I want to say.
Scorched earth. It was nuts. And those two, by the way, they hate each other. Like, it's well documented. Her and Scott would box on. They would totally fight. I've got to get Conchetta in to make some pottery too, I think.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
imagine how many
it would just be
exploding
fucking
phalluses in the kiln there would be that day.
So true. So she got up after, and this happened last Tuesday. So she got up and did that. And there was a couple things that sparked people's kind of imagination. And she did allude to the circumstances around his dodgy pre-selection. So in 2007, Scott Morrison won the seat of Cook. And that's how we've ended up with him. He entered Parliament. And the way in which he was pre-selected for that seat now, what I didn't realise, has been up for contention for 15 years. Everyone's like, okay, he got in a really dirty fashion. So it's in the Shire. And obviously in 2005, you'll all remember the Cronulla riots happened, which basically boiled down to Anglo-Aussies saying they wanted to clear the beaches of Lebo Wogs. And there was text messages being sent around encouraging anyone who was Anglo,
Alan Jones was on the case stirring it up.
And I remember at the time being a WOG, I was on air in Perth and I felt really unsafe because I was extremely upset by any ethnic person who likes going to the beach. By the way, most WOGs hate the sand, so whatever. It was really fucking awful time. So that was kind of the vibes happening around the Shire. And so in 2007, the pre-selection happened for the seat of Cook, which is in the Shire, and ScoMo was up against a bunch of other people, including one man by the name of Michael Toke. He is of Lebanese background, important to note. He won that pre-selection 82 votes to ScoMo's 8.
Quite a convincing victory.
So why didn't he then become the member for Cook? What happened? Well,
you may well ask, and I do. What did happen?
His victory was invalidated by the Liberal Party and ScoMo was put in. So what our friend Conchetta is saying...
Morrison might profess to be Christian, but there was nothing Christian about what was done to Michael Toke.
Is she kind of went on to float that there are several stat decks floating around now, which have since been printed over the weekend, stating that ScoMo allegedly said racist comments about Michael, about his Lebanese background, and also dropped the bomb that he might even be a Muslim. Like, that's a bad thing.
Oh, and in post-Cronulla riot, Shire.
So he knew exactly what he was doing. And there seemed to be a concentrated smear campaign against this man who had done nothing wrong, who had won 82-8 by ScoMo because he was so pissed off about losing. He then someone allegedly went to Sam Destiari, former disgraced Labor Senator Sam Destiari, to put together a dirt file.
Not disgraced at that time,
Not disgraced at that time. Yes. To put together a dirt file on Michael, because Michael had briefly been a member for Labor. And the dirt file came back, was leaked to the press, and this man's life and political career was destroyed, allegedly by ScoMo's sour grapes that he'd lost. That ScoMo had gone to pre-selectors and said, you can't put a Lebanese person in Cook. ScoMo has denied it.
Yeah.
But that
and hasn't ScoMo wandering around saying he will sign his own stat deck?
Only if it goes to court. ScoMo is refusing to sign a stat deck unless this matter is taken to the courts. Yeah. It's so murky. And so all these people coming forward and corroborating that and saying, yeah, he is a bully. He is awful. All of this happening so close to the election within that party. What does that mean for the election? And so obviously I've been hypothesising. And
Yep.
I don't believe we're going to have a winner of this election. I would put serious money on a hung parliament.
Yep.
And then what happens is the balance of power goes to the independents.
Well, we have unprecedented numbers of independents running and looking incredibly competitive.
Correct.
And just generally as an electorate, we're loving the independents in Australia.
Yes. So what happens is if you can't form a majority government, each party then has to scurry away to the independents and see who they can get, who can they make form a minority government
Yes,
with.
Abbott and Gillard had to do that, and
Correct.
then Gillard got him.
And everyone was expecting Abbott to get him.
Yes.
But Gillard got him. So expect this to be wild. And the interesting thing is the Teal independents have the power. So if this goes to a hung parliament, ScoMo and Albo have to scurry off to them. Now, they're very big on climate change.
Yeah.
ScoMo, not so much.
No. This is a piece of coal. Don't be afraid of it.
But Teal, stay with me, Emsolators, traditionally aligns with the Liberals.
Yes.
This is why I love politics. This is what I'm going to be talking about when I give my National Press Club address. They've asked me to specifically state why I love politics. It's this stuff. It's going to be a wild, insane ride. I don't know who's going to win, but I do know there's going to be a hung parliament, and I do know there's going to be a week where we're not going to have a fucking anything. Like, it's going to be just backyard party meetings trying to get the members for Teal on board.
And do you have a prediction for something that the coalition might do?
You know I do.
I know you do, and I just want to hear it. I'm so glad it's going to be down on the record.
Look, okay. I have a wild left-wing theory. It's crazy. Not
Left
left-wing.
field.
Left field,
Left
not
field.
left-wing. Although I think that there is a chance that all of this jockeying and all of this shitting on ScoMo by his own party is very deliberate.
Yeah.
Because I think they'll allow him to take them to the hung parliament. And then I think once they're there, they may say to the Teal members who have the independents, independents Teal, we will install someone else, Frydenberg, who is pro-climate change, to negotiate. And they'll be able to do that because they'll be able to go, look, everyone hates him. He's a bully. We have to do this in all good conscience. There's precedence. And then ScoMo will be ousted and Frydenberg perhaps in for the minority government negotiations. Could be dangled. If we were to replace our leader, would you put us in?
And one key independent, Zali Stegel of Warringah, she was on Q&A being grilled about it, and she specifically said she would be far more likely to help form a minority government with the coalition if they got rid of Scott Morrison.
All I'm saying is I take everything in. I like to be outrageous, but there's a tiny bit of, research. I truly believe that they're waiting till the hung. I think they know that's going to happen. And then I think their last minute Hail Mary will be, we'll piss him off and you can negotiate with someone who's more sympathetic to your proclivities.
It's a plausible theory. And let's just say if this comes true, all of us have borne witness to it. It's on the record, and God knows we'll be reposting this if it comes true for the end of time. If they don't start putting you on election night panels after this, if you get this right.
Yeah, I already said I am like the octopus who predicts the World Cup winners.
This is no ordinary octopus.
That's me.
Yeah. You
As
should
much
add it
credibility
to
in the
your
field.
you're a political psychic? No, because it's based on logic and...
Well, logic's a strong word.
Yeah.
We'll see. Anyway, we'll be talking about this more. Obviously, we're heavily invested. We're going to go away and we're going to come back and talk about another topic we're heavily invested in, Lady Gaga and the Grammys.
M. Russiano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsolation.
We're back. The Grammys. After the Oscars, bit of a letdown. Part of me was hoping Kanye saw Will Smith's outburst and was like, okay, fuck this, hold my beer, I'm going in hard.
I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
Kanye famously not invited to the Grammys, even though he was nominated.
Banned? Yeah. The album he was nominated for Album of the Year was actually a masterpiece. It was probably his second best album ever, but all this shit around it. And I don't think they were going to let him win regardless. And the person who won, John Baptiste, let's start off with the person who won the best album. I vaguely know him as the band leader on Stephen Colbert's show.
I know that he did a late night concert with Madonna and they wandered through the streets of Brooklyn singing together.
Hi, gay.
I love that that's where we both know him. But now, and when he gave his speech, have a listen.
I believe this to my core. There is no best musician, best artist, best dancer, best actor. The creative arts are subjective, and they reach people at a point in their lives when they need it most.
So can you hear how he says art is subjective? Because when he got announced in the room, it was palpable that people were like, what the fuck? How did this guy win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was braced for Olivia Rodrigo, and was Lil Nas X up for Album of the Year? No.
I don't think so,
Okay,
no.
right.
There wasn't enough Lil Nas X for me.
Oh, it can never be enough.
Totally. But it was in Vegas, so lacking any sort of real great celebs, bar Gaga.
We didn't have a Taylor Swift. We didn't have a Beyonce. We didn't have a Drake.
Was Katy Perry there?
I don't know, but she's probably
performing.
playing.
Yeah, true. They just didn't feel like, but maybe are we old?
No, I think
Because
that was a
Doja
common
Cat
thing.
was there.
True.
Famously taking a piss when she
Dua
won a
Lipa.
Grammy.
Yeah.
Dua Lipa wearing vintage Versace. It was amazing.
Harry Styles wasn't there, and he had a new single to promote and was a winner last year. So I would have welcomed. I mean, obviously, I always welcome seeing him, but I would have welcomed it.
I like the new song. It's
Me
not
too.
getting rave reviews, but
Really?
he's building.
I feel like it's like a soft re-entry.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's going to hit us with an absolute belter
can
for
you
the
imagine?
second one. Every online algorithm clearly knows that even though I may be a 43-year-old man, I want Harry Styles content because his happy little smiling, calming face is just every platform I open, it's there.
I also follow at least 10 fan accounts.
Okay.
That's how you know you're a... Oh, no.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I started it because they're just so delightful.
They're more committed than he is. Like, quite frankly, Harry, I need to post every 3 hours, but he's going every 3 days because it's cool. The fan accounts, no.
The fan accounts, they really specialise in
Following him around.
Following him around,
And
but also
grainy footage.
the charming little interactions he has on stage.
Oh, I stand the stan accounts. Because if it
me
wasn't
too.
for them, I'd be starved.
They constantly return to his performance at the Grammys last year, and I've watched that so many times now when he's saying Watermelon Sugar. And it's mesmerising. He's so calm. He's so relaxed.
I know. He's the best. He's the greatest. He was not there at the Grammys. So I guess Gaga, obviously, for us, won the night.
Obviously.
We love her so much.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. She
did a Tony Bennett tribute. Well, they released the album, of course.
And won a Grammy, thank God.
Won a Grammy.
Yeah.
Not Album of the Year, famously, no. But no, she play it perfectly in her blue gown. And she sang a medley of songs, and it finished, she sat down on the stairs, very Barbara. And behind her, there were imagery of her and Tony Bennett. And then just before she sang the last note, of course, she turned to the screens. She teared up.
Yes.
She had an emotional moment. And then, of course, flawlessly sang the note. Of course.
Hello. That tear would
Standing
have been
ovation.
That tear would have been practiced 5 times.
Oh.
Are you getting the light hitting the corner of my one delicate tear? Redo it. And she could produce one tear on cue.
Like Sylvie Palladino.
Oh, Sylvie Palladino, I'm crossing myself. If people don't know, she every year sings at the carols in Melbourne and is able to produce the most stunning tear choreographed to the beat of the song she's singing at the right time. No makeup stain. She must wear the synchronized swimmer makeup because no tracks, no panda eyes, nothing.
It's beautiful.
She's the queen of the tear choreography.
It's the unofficial end of Melbourne's annual calendar is when that tear goes down Sylvie Palladino's face.
Santa can come, cue him.
And Gaga is just as adept.
Oh, but I also love she is flawlessly transitioning into diva doyen, even though she's younger than us. Like,
Totally.
She's just on the Barbra track. She's on the Barbra trajectory, and I am so here for it. What an exciting time.
Well, I mean, the medley that she did essentially could have been a selection from her Vegas jazz show, which we indeed had tickets for.
We had tickets for.
And we'll be back one day.
Oh, yeah. We should do our Palm Springs trip next year. It has to happen. But, I mean, she's close. She's close to Barbra status, and, I can't wait. The ultimate Barbra moment for me, though, was when Barbra sang a duet with herself as a child, herself on the screen, and then herself. So it was a 3-way duet with herself, remember?
Yeah. Oh,
and then I'm
we'll
waiting
never
for...
forget.
Yeah, I'm waiting
Papa,
for...
can you hear me? Yeah. Oh, no, it wasn't that one, actually.
No. What was it?
What's wrong with wanting more? It's Yentl.
Yeah, but what did she sing with herself? You should know this. You're a Barbra file.
Yeah, no, she sang.
It was Papa Can. It was.
It was part of a Yentl medley,
Everything about that sentence.
No,
is
it was
exciting.
complicated because so in the final song in Yentl.
Do it.
The
I want you
final
to
song
perform
in
it.
Yentl, she's on
Yeah.
the little ship going along in New York or wherever she is.
Yeah.
And she's singing the whole "What's wrong with wanting more if you can fly and soar?"
Why aren't you singing
and then
that?
she does a reprise.
Sing it.
I think everyone knows
Go.
why. No, it's really
Sing
hard.
it.
It's the whole "What's wrong with wanting more if you can fly and soar?"
What's wrong with wanting more if you can fly and soar?
And then she goes into a reprise, and what she does is she turns her head, she goes back to the "Papa, can you hear me?" And on the screen behind her, the Barbara of 30 years ago turned her head in sync.
Who had more wrinkles than the Barbara of present day.
That's right. It was an electrifying moment. And then the final notes were "Papa,
Sing it.
watch."
Sing it. Sing it.
Well, you need to call it response, sort of.
Oh,
'Cause
God.
it's like "Papa,
I don't know what I'm singing.
Papa,
Papa.
watch me
Watch me.
fly."
Oh, fly.
Yeah. But with herself.
Yeah, amazing.
Gaga will get there.
100%.
There will come
I
a
will get
time,
there.
I can see it in 20 years' time, she will go back to Shallow.
Oh, yeah.
But instead of Bradley,
Herself.
it'll be herself.
100%. Hologrammed. And on that note, we've done ScoMo, Barbara, Gaga. What more could pottery? Gold Coast. What more could you want from us today?
Like Connie, we have left nothing on the floor.
Concetta. Stop calling her Connie. She probably had to do that to be more Aussie. Concetta. Fierventi Wells. We'll chat next week. I'll have been at the Grand Prix. I'll be unbearable.
Well, next week we'll be chatting
What?
in concert form.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, don't forget.
Next week is a pre-recorded extravaganza of the last 2 years. If you're not at the live show Tuesday night, you're not going to get your weekly fresh dose of Michael and I. So
Really? Aren't we releasing that on as a podcast?
No.
Oh,
No.
ooh,
People aren't
no
getting that for
good,
free.
no, of
Enough.
course.
We give enough. It's $5. You all better be there on Tuesday night. No, I've had it. I'm telling you. I want people to be at our second birthday. There's a lot to reflect on next week. People are going to like it. And it's also a good reset and starting point for someone who might want to join the podcast.
Yeah.
So
Look, it's the first time I'll have done it in front of a live audience, which freaks me out. And
Are
also,
you-
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I'm not having my mother there. I cannot
Oh,
have
you
her
want
sitting
your
there.
mum there?
No.
I'm making sure she's there.
No.
Yeah, she's coming.
I can't.
Your
You're
mum's
not.
coming.
What if, like,
Your mum's going to see a sold-out theatre adoring her son, which is all she really cares
and then
about.
here's
because
something akin to Nancy Reagan cum guzzler, and I worry.
please, can you think of something worse than cum guzzler
Oh.
for this week in front of your mother? I can't. Like, I know she's proud of your TV stuff and everything, but she thinks I'm more successful than you because people clap at me and she can see it.
She
so
does.
I
She does
think
love
it's
an adoring crowd.
I think it's
I
important.
just worry that it'll throw me.
No, she'll be there like the Queen in her royal box. Jenny will be there.
Okay, they can
She'll
sit
sit with
together.
my mum.
Okay.
My mum wouldn't bat an eyelid at cum guzzling, to be fair.
I turned to your mum right when I said it. I remember she was standing right at the back and we made eye contact and she just did this slow nod.
That's very Jenny. Cool. All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Emsolation.
All right, well, that's it. Thank you so much for being here this week. Looking forward to seeing you Tuesday night. If you're going to be at the Malthouse Theatre, there'll be merch there special. It's good. It's good merch. And, I'll see if I can get it online. I don't know. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of things for one little brain. I'm really looking forward to the Grand Prix. And next Thursday, the EP will be, I'll be with you, just looking back on, look, 365 D&I needs to be revisited. The Night of 1,000 Madonnas. If you've got any input on your favourite episodes, please feel free. Facebook group, on our Instagram at Emsolation Podcast. Love to hear what stood out for you over the last 2 years. It's going to be a reflection of that. So we will be back next Tuesday. Don't worry, you'll have a fresh podcast to listen to. But again, get your tickets to the live show. I don't even care. I know it's weird whoring your things, but after the last 2 years and all that I have given out and my team have given out, I don't feel weird in saying $5 is not much. If you break it down over all the episodes we've given out, it's a couple cents. Not that you're not worth it. There's always some weirdness around creatives asking for money. I'm asking for money. I'm doing it. And I'm not apologising. I mean, don't worry, I'll go away and feel guilty and a bit sassy for doing it. And yeah, but it's fine. I've done it now. It's done. Have a great week. I think the next time we properly speak, we'll have an election date, which then it's all systems go. It's going to get nasty. It is. Don't forget to look at all my daughter's social media work on the Instagram at Emsolation Podcast. Sign up to the newsletter, all the important links and recommendations, and just it's a great thing that goes out. Sign up to that. Ben, my executive producer, puts it together. That's it. We'll talk soon. Look after yourself, and remember what I said in the intro. Just stop doing everything. Okay? If you haven't listened to the intro, that will go back and listen. Because if you skip the intro, go. I'm not explaining again. My voice hurts. Okay. Bye.
Emsolation with M. Russiano is a Spotify exclusive podcast recorded at Down the Hill Studios. Hosted by M. Russiano with Michael Lucas. Executive produced by Benjamin Wasley. Produced by M. Russiano. Edited by Ezekiel Fenn at Entente Music. With videos by James Henderson. Socials by Marcella Russiano Barrow. With assistance from Jem Evans and Georgia Watts. Plus, occasional office shelf installs and flat pack wrangling from M's dad Vincy. Get more Emsolation by following us on Instagram at Emsolation Podcast. You can also sign up for our weekly newsletter. Join other Emsolators at the Emsolation group on Facebook. The answer is Harry Styles. And please take the time to share this podcast with a friend and make sure you're following us on the Spotify app by hitting the follow button. Thanks again for taking time out to listen to this week's episode, and we look forward to chatting with you again soon.